So rather than breaking down other people's films or doing all of these little pish-poshes, I really wanted to take the chance to start making films. Had a super great interview with a group of people where they challenged me and said this.
How would you define fun? The moment that you can be something, you'll figure out how to make the money out of it afterwards. Meaning, if you can make being on set fun, or you can make closing a movie deal fun, or you can make hiring your crew fun, then figuring out how to monetize that afterwards is going to be super easy.
And it kind of got me rethinking how I'm approaching some of the content that I'm creating. So at the end of the day, my goal is to tell stories that I really care about. And so I thought it'd be really fun to practice that and then share the experience throughout. And that's kind of the content that I threw out there. Vloggy-ish, kind of weird, I don't even know kind of situation. Starting to get a background and room that I'm not upset with, very YouTubery. So the main pieces that we're gonna focus on is kind of reviewing this light, this light right here, and how you can use it for short films. So D&O Lighting is I wouldn't even call it a budget lighting company, but just an off-brand, and not as mainstream brand lighting company. And I had the chance to talk with them and kind of get to know them as a company. And I really like the light. They're a pretty decent output, way better than most of the lights that I've used. I'd call it like a soft panel version of a 120D, but it's bicolor. So it goes through a diffusion sheet that really helps the entire thing end up being one large source, similar to something like an Airy Sky panel, but with only bicolor operations. Super duper useful. And what I want to try and figure out is how we can use it to tell a story. So we're going to bring it onto the short film. We're going to use it to key light and then use for different sources of lighting. Right now I'm using it for a rim light, and then it also just looks cool, so I'm using it in the shot. But there's a lot of gear reviews, and there's a bunch of awesome YouTubers like Tommy Calloway who do really in-depth problems with the light, because there's always going to be problems with the lights that you get. And I think it's easy to think, all right, is this the best lighting that I could use for the films I'm not going to make? But rather, I would like to review lights in a way that says you can use this light to create X, because I think gear should inspire us to create and come up with creative ideas rather than limit us on what we're actually making to say that I can't create this without that light. So we're gonna throw an idea together, use this light and some other things and some fun crew members to write a short film this week, put it together, and then kind of figure out where we can go from there. Okay, so I came up with an idea, and it's kind of gonna evolve as we're going throughout the project. So what I talk about now is gonna be way different than what I end up actually creating. So let's do an outline of the story, because I'm a terrible script writer, and then I think it would be fun to break down some of those ideas and throw them into something like Cinetracer, so we have an idea of what equipment we need and then how we need to tell the story. Okay, if you can't tell by the already ridiculously loud sound of the fan on my laptop, I'm running Cinetracer right now. And I love using this app for any kind of like short film project, because it really opens up my eyes to what I might need on a project, as well as gets me creatively brainstorming about what I might be able to use to actually shoot, and where I might be able to shoot. So the first thought I had was for this garage scene, and I'm like, my sister has a garage. Hopefully she lets me use it. What does it look like? And I can jump into the game and super duper easily recreate the entire garage. So if you go on the outside, I kind of have both of the garage doors, and then I set something up here, which I'll explain in a second. But a pretty accurate looking set as far as what we've got going on. And then what I'm able to do in the game is be able to do some of the set decoration and design and different things that are going on, which really helps me kind of consider the possibility that some of what I'm doing for the film won't work. Some of the things I'm doing will take too much time. So this whole setup's a little bit obnoxious and not exactly how it's going to go down. This is somewhat of a, you need to think about it in a different perspective kind of scene, because I have this like city background. I thought it would be cool if we had some kind of cityscape. Probably won't get access to that. And then we're on the second floor. I'd love if we could shoot this scene on the first floor, because it would make lighting so many different things so much easier. The most important things to me is I have this light hitting on the wall that I did before, but you have the window light, but then you also have some trees outside that it's shooting through, right? And that gives this, again, it's tying in these trees that you see in the background to some light and interest on the wall that might be kind of boring. And then I have a light outside on this back porch shooting at this tree to kind of illuminate it so that it's not just dark outside. This is a huge deal. When you're lighting, you're not only lighting your subject, you're lighting a scene, you're painting a scene. And so if we actually go into what we did to key the person, we ended up using a 120D-esque kind of situation, shooting that against some kind of bounce card, which I thought it would be cool to literally just take like a white sheet and tape it to the top of the ceiling. We have like an all around pretty cool looking image. And again, not everything is seen that we did, but we're focusing on the most important parts. We'll tweak everything whenever we actually shoot the scene. This is an idea to say, I want it to look something like this, and giving that to my DP is gonna be huge. Or if I was to go and shoot and light this myself, I know how to shoot and light it, and I know what I need, so I'm gonna be able to tweak much faster. And that's gonna be a huge deal, because again, I don't have any budget. So one thing to break down here that I feel like some filmmakers are struggling with is a lot of these lights seem expensive, or the equipment seems expensive. You can so easily pull off this entire lighting setup with 2 Godox SL60s, some CTOs, and then maybe a bicolor panel. Like, that's all you need. I think that with those things, you're gonna be able to get this entire look for stupid cheap. All right, so this is kind of a big deal because I'm not used to shooting a lot of outside night scenes that don't suck. I just recently did one where I punched a big diffusion wall to get a cool looking scene, and I might do something like that for this because it might be better. Something I think is a lot of fun is lighting different parts of a scene for like a wide shot or something like that. And again, you're using different lights, you're using what's accessible, you're using what's around, and you're creating a lot of these scenes. I really want to do a short film where all I use is cam lights. I feel like it would be a lot of fun, but we'll kind of see how things go on the set day, and then whatever it looks like on this side of it as well. So that's all of the lighting. That's all the cinematography for this project. It's really simple. And in fact, what I'm going to do right now at the end of it is cut this entire sequence together with music and then maybe me talking over it. I think that there is so much complexity in the brain where it's like, I can't do this because of XYZ, whatever. And the biggest reality, or the biggest problem I have with a lot of films that are made, is they're doing a huge story with nothing. I'm pretty sure it was Scorsese who said it, but I don't actually remember. But he said that his biggest advantage in filmmaking was his ignorance. Whatever I imagine in my mind, I can put on a camera. And whether that's true or not, I always wanted to try it. And I think that programs like this, or even just going through a pre-production process, gives you the opportunity to be like, what could this be? What could this look like? How can I practice these tools? How can I start to implement them for my films? And then how can I believe that these things are going to be possible? Now, doing that doesn't make a good film, but starting there I think is important. So what I'm going to try and do now is take this entire project that's edited together into something really fun and beautiful, and then I'm going to try and talk to a set designer and a set dresser, because that's going to be super important, my actors, and then my DP. So I think that'll be the next part. You have to have the imagination to get your project going. But what's next is allowing for the rest of your crew to come in to give those different unique creative tools that you're gonna need to stand out. That's a huge deal that a lot of people don't realize. You are not the filmmaker. You're a director. You need to step in, bring creative people together. So we'll see where that goes. I'll take a lot of these ideas. I might even post this video and send it to each of them. And then I want them to give their feedback on where we could go. That goes to the actors. That especially goes to the DP. That goes to wardrobe and set design. Films are made by amazing crews, not amazing directors. So I think that this is gonna be one place now, but I have no idea where it's gonna end up by the time I actually shoot it. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And until next time, I hope that indie doesn't only inspire me, but it inspires you.